Okay, so first of all, a big fat spoiler alert to anyone who watches Game of Thrones.
What? Not even a hello first, Rebecca? I mean, come on. That's no way to really keep this relationship going.
Or reads the books, A Song of Ice and Fire. I am going to be spoiling
Atheism?
I believe it's the Dance with Dragons book.
Oh no, you're going to be spoiling something else. Oh, I'm sorry.
And the next season that has not aired yet of the TV show.
Hold on, I gotta put my pants back on. I thought we were... don't worry about it.
So please leave if you do not want any spoilers. Okay, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So coming up in the next season is a pivotal scene for Cersei, who is a really fascinating character, I think. She is a powerful woman living in a severely misogynistic, patriarchal world.
Oh no. A patriarchal world? A patriarchal world. How terrible for her. She's a queen. Born to a wealthy father. Married to a king. Must be terrible for her.
And so she grasps power in any way she can. For Cersei, that means marrying someone she hates, Robert Baratheon.
So she's actually grasping power using her vagina.
Staying married to him despite the fact that he's a drunken lout who she continues to hate and who maybe abuses her.
He did hit her once. Near the end. When he had finally had enough. He was getting tired of her abusing him verbally with all her man up garbage. And then he never loved her. He married her. It was a political marriage. She hated him. She was cheating on him. He probably subconsciously knew it. And yeah. How can you not resent someone who you were almost literally forced to marry? If you didn't marry her, you probably wouldn't have been able to hold on to the throne. But moving on.
And also pretending that her children are his, despite the fact that they are obviously the products of her super sexy incest.
This is the creepiest thing I've ever heard Rebecca Watson say. This is weird, it's creepy. Super sexy incest. Super sexy incest, Rebecca? Really? I get it that that guy is hot. I get it that the actor that plays Jaime Lannister is good looking. I get that every woman wants to see the bad boy redeemed. I get it. That handsome, rich, evil bad boy who's, has only had sex with one woman, his sister. The sort of loner, oddly. Sort of guy whose only ambition in life is to make Cersei happy. And we'll get into him later. Because they're twins. Jaime Lannister and Cersei Lannister are brother and sister. It's art, Rebecca. I'm sure you're not getting it, right? But they are two sides of the same coin. She says it a lot. Cersei says it a lot.
And now, in the show's timeline, it means engaging in a sort of mini war with a potential rival, who is Queen Marjorie, who's younger, maybe a bit prettier, and possibly better positioned than Cersei to grab her power.
Yes. Yes, you're getting it. You're getting it, Rebecca. You see, what you're going to be talking about, what you're spoiling here, besides atheism, what you're spoiling here is you're getting the setup. Yes, the woman who has hit the wall, the aging woman who's approaching the wall, right, is threatened by her power being taken away from her by a younger, prettier woman who she knows will eventually, using her vagina, will control Cersei's own son. Either one of them. All right?
In the books, the way Cersei fights Marjorie is by using those patriarchal systems.
The irony, Rebecca. The irony.
She empowers the church and then forms a grand conspiracy in which she essentially frames Marjorie for having sex outside of marriage. And seeing as Marjorie was at first married to King Joffrey for a minute, and then engaged to Tommen, this is considered treason, and Marjorie's life is in danger.
And Cersei is sincere in this because it's her son. It's her son. It's her son. And she knows kings get cuckolded because she's cuckolding her king. She's been doing it the whole time. So she knows how women really are because she's a woman. But she's also a mother, and she has a son that she cares about because the son is an extension of her because she is, kind of like a narcissist. I believe Plato or Aristotle said parenting is just a form of narcissism. A child is an extension and expression of yourself. So she doesn't want to get cuckolded. You get it? It's not just about her power. It's about her pride. She's the family alliance. I'm trying to help you out here, Rebecca. I really am.
Now, never mind the fact that the previous kings, including both Joffrey and Robert, were renowned for having sex with whoever or whatever, whenever they wanted. The rules in this world are very, very different for women.
It is ridiculous that feminists still make this argument about a fictional book based in a monarchical system. You say patriarchy, you don't even get the idea of paternity. It's ironic because the point is the super sexy incest. It's an angle of this literature that you are missing. You get it? The reason why the king is allowed to sleep with a bunch of women that aren't his wife, it's because the children that result from those copulations are considered bastards, and being a bastard is a bad thing. It is worse than being a peasant in this imaginary world. Even the bastard of kings and lords get treated badly. The lowliest guy, the lowliest farmer, can just haul off and call a guy a bastard. And yeah, hey, terrible, horrible. It's crazy that you don't get it. The reason why it's a crime is because of the paternity certainty. Paternity certainty is for heredity to inherit the throne. It's the point. It's the whole point. It's why it's one of the most major aspects of the whole thing. Think of the House Baratheon. Stannis, that's his whole argument. The paternity uncertainty. You get the irony of it? And you're complaining about the thing that that Cersei's doing. You're saying, hey, it's cool for guys to cheat on their wife, but it's not cool for women to cheat on their husband. Yeah, because this is an imaginary world set in medieval times where they don't have birth control. They don't have birth control. Alright? Okay? I'm moving on.
Unfortunately for Cersei, the plan backfires quite spectacularly, and she is punished by those exact same patriarchal systems that she set in motion against Marjorie.
No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point, okay? It's going to go into a tale of redemption. It's what Jaime Lannister and Cersei Lannister are two sides of the same coin. I'll get into Jaime in a little bit. I'll get into Cersei right after that. Okay? But what you have to understand, Rebecca, is that the tale is about redemption. What her tale is going to be about is redemption. Redemption from what? All the terrible, horrible things she did that upset people, all these seeds she sowed, that when the common man, when the church, when the townspeople, when the lords, when all the people that she had just been stepping on and abusing her power over get a chance to screw her back. All right? And they throw her in a jail. They humiliate her. They break her. They put her in solitary confinement. She walks in there. She walks right into their trap. And she walks in there planning on manipulating, using her female superior language skills and manipulative ability, to manipulate the priest, the new priest that she picked because the old guy was fat and said insulting things. And the irony of it is that she's getting her comeuppance before her brother did. All right? Her brother got his comeuppance, started on his path to redemption. She's getting her comeuppance. I hope you understand she's not being punished because patriarchy. She's being punished because other people are manipulating their now power that she gave them to shut everyone up, to keep everyone happy. She thought she was manipulating everyone. But like her little brother points out, she's terrible at it. Not only is she terrible at playing the Game of Thrones, she abuses her power when she does it. At least other people do it not for revenge, but for pride, for money, for glory. She's doing it just to hurt people. All right, moving on.
And what better way to punish a woman in Westeros for stepping outside of the allotted roles for women? You know, the maiden, the mother, the crone.
Okay, now I am going to look up the allotted roles for women. All right, let's check it out. This is the 7. The 7 fixed God. Right? Okay, we got mother, we got maiden, and we got crone. Right? And she made crone sound like a bad thing. All right? I'm going to go through it real quick. The father. These are the roles for men. The father, the warrior, the smith, the stranger. So it's 4 roles for men, 3 for women. And no one's quite sure if the stranger is a man or a woman. Because the stranger represents death, the unknown. You don't know if the stranger is a man or a woman. And let's check out some of the roles. The father. Compare that to the mother. Oh, it's sexually reproducing species, Rebecca. You pretend to the evolutionary science knowledge. You pretend to biology knowledge and stuff. Which you may have. You probably have more than the average bear. I'll give you that. But, come on, Rebecca. I mean, seriously. Mother is not a bad thing. And let's see what the father represents. Justice and judges the souls of the dead. He's a judge. And the mother represents mercy, peace, fertility, and childbirth. You know, the mother. But mercy and peace. Yeah, justice requires mercy. You have balance between justice and mercy to sustain the peace. All for baby, to keep the kingdom going, to keep it growing. All right, now on to, let's see, the maiden and the warrior. Wow, so the maiden represents purity, love, and beauty. Right? Young women. Yeah, that's terrible. Oh, it's such a terrible role to be assigned to. Let's compare that to the warrior, where represents strength and courage in battle. So let's see, the maiden's job is to protect the chastity of virgins. The maiden's good stuff, like love and beauty. The warrior, hey, people pray to the warrior for courage in battle. Courage and strength. Because, hey, I'm being conscripted, which will go to another one of your videos. I'm being conscripted by this lord to go off and kill a bunch of people I don't really know. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, the maiden is such a terrible role. Damn you, patriarchy. Forcing women to represent love and beauty and requiring men to pray for strength and courage in battle. Right, now I'm going to some more interesting stuff. The crone and the smith. Right, the crone represents wisdom and foresight. Yeah, it's not old crone like you're thinking. It's not a bad thing. Oddly, in Westeros, in the Game of Thrones, women have stolen the role of wise old man. They've stolen the role of wise old man. And that's terrible. It's a terrible thing. What's the smith? The smith represents creation and craftsmanship. Oh my god. So the roles women have, or the mother, the maiden, and the crone, mercy, peace, love, beauty, wisdom, and foresight. Oh, God, damn you, patriarchy. And the men have the father, the warrior, and the smith. Oh, wow. So you get judge, justice, protector, provider. Yeah, the smith is like the version of the provider. He makes stuff. Stuff for women to use. Like, he's also, gone away killing other dudes. While women sit back at home, enjoying their peace and their beauty, in learning stuff and gaining wisdom in their old age. Because, yeah, they don't die all the time, because they're not being sent out. Yeah, they don't meet the stranger very much, because they're not in battle. I can't believe either you're forcing your feminist victim narrative onto something that it tries very hard. George R.R. Martin tries very hard to be nice to the women. He dedicates almost every book to either his wife or his girlfriend or someone. Yeah, he's a huge, woman lover. If you asked him, he'd probably say he was a feminist. Right? But, hey, screw it. Let's move on.
And for actually obtaining a huge amount of power in the way Cersei has done, what better way to punish a woman for scheming in the exact way that the men scheme all the time?
Everyone schemes in Westeros. That is the point of the first book, the Game of Thrones. When you play the Game of Thrones, you either win or you die. It's men and women play the Game of Thrones.
But by reminding her that in Westeros, a woman's body is nothing more than a tool of that misogynistic culture.
And a woman's body is not just a tool for making babies. And it's no more of a tool, and I can prove that women are not used just for making babies in Game of Thrones. The Red Priestess, Stannis Baratheon's mistress. Right? Yeah, she's a tactical decision. She's a very dangerous woman. Yeah, she controls magic. Alright? And then women being used to make baby is no more of using a woman as a tool than a man being used as a smith or a warrior. We're moving on.
And so they do that by forcing Cersei to strip down and walk the city, and allowing all of her former subjects to jeer at her and to recognize her as being a weak and powerless woman, and not the powerful symbol that they had previously been so afraid of.
Yes, and they've done it before. They did it, I believe, to your Cersei's grandfather's mistress. Because the grandfather's mistress manipulated the grandfather to the point, the Lannister grandfather, to where he ruined his family's fortune. Tywin, I believe is his name. Tywin Lannister had to save his family's fortune from his father's ruinous manipulation because of a woman, because of his mistress. It's the townspeople punishing lying, manipulative women who use their vaginas to control men, taking away their reason so that they can no longer administer the justice and keep the peace, so that the father and the mother can have the babies. In this world, in a system where once you start having babies with a woman, you're technically married. And all children that are not born of a marriage don't have any rights. And treated like crap. I don't think you get it. They're not punishing women for being women. They're punishing women for being manipulators to the end of everyone else suffering. And you don't get it, Rebecca. You really don't. Okay, I'm going to say it, because everyone who watches this already knows. Here's the comparison, Rebecca. Jaime and Cersei are male and female twins, halves of the same coin. And what it is, Jaime lost his sword hand, his right hand. He became powerless. People no longer feared him. And once it was known that he was no longer feared, he had to use what his father had built, used what his father had left him. The legacy that his father left him, which was just the reputation, just his knowledge, just his wits, how people perceived him, all the lessons his father was trying to teach him, he eventually had to use to keep the peace, to undo the damage that was being done by the previous rulers playing this dumb Game of Thrones. Yeah, he was busy being a Knight of the Kingsguard. Jaime Lannister is like the only person in the whole show that actually cares about the people. He is literally a white knight, and everyone hates him for it. Cersei is going through the same thing. Okay? She's going to be stripped of her power. People are going to look at her as just a middle-aged woman. Breast will be sagging. They even, I think they talk about her stretch marks, her sagging breasts. They shave off her hair, all of it, everywhere. They humiliate her. And they eventually make her break down, cry, run, stumble, bleed. She steps in waste, human waste, animal waste. She's bleeding. She's humiliated. She's crying. And she has been undone. And her uncle even comments later on that it was good for her. Even better for the people. Right, here's an even bigger spoiler, but if you read that book, you read the end of it. The uncle gets killed for making things better. Cersei was allowed into power so that she would screw up everything. Yes, the manipulator was being manipulated. You get it? She's playing the Game of Thrones badly. Alright? And a little hint here, a little clue. Who is the upper class being manipulated by truly? The lower class. Because it's all about the people, really.
Now, that's what happens in the books. What happens in the TV show remains to be seen. Lena Headey has said prior to this that she didn't want Cersei to appear naked on screen because it would take away from her power and the sort of fear and respect that she inspires. But of course, this scene is all about stripping away that power and that respect. And so she was excited to do the scene naked.
Yes, you get it. And I'm sure she only said that first thing because they weren't even sure if they were going to do more than one season of Game of Thrones to begin with. So she only said, I don't want to appear naked. So they probably have to pay her more to appear naked. Oh, I'm excited as an actress now to be naked. And that actress has been naked in other movies. Right? And it's ridiculous that you're turning this into some sort of feminist issue. That you're twisting this into some sort of feminist issue. When it has nothing to do with feminism.
Unfortunately, the Church of St. Nicholas disagrees. That is the Croatian church that stands in for the Great Sept of Baler. And according to TMZ, the Church of St. Nicholas pretty much runs the tiny town where it's located and has convinced the local authorities to deny the production crew the permits they need to film the scene. In other words, a church is using moral outrage over a woman's sexuality in order to stop the filming of a scene illustrating the horrors of a church using moral outrage over a woman's sexuality to punish a woman.
The irony, Rebecca, do you get it? Do you see? Art imitates life. Yes. The church, in reality, is manipulating the government to get the government to do what the church wants it to do. It's beautiful irony. The reality of this situation qualifies the Game of Thrones books as art, as literature. It qualifies it.
And for that, we will all be punished. But don't worry, hopefully the Game of Thrones production crew will find a way around this. Either they could recast the church, or they could use their obviously quite large special effects budget to maybe hire Andy Serkis to wear a motion capture suit and stroll down the street. And then they could just paste a naked Cersei over top of him.
Rebecca, it's not that cute. Wasn't that funny? Didn't make you that cute.
You know, whichever. Hopefully the former. But the latter would be kind of fun.
What? All right, Rebecca. Well, you guys have a nice day. And always remember to go your own way. Yours truly, Him.